Hi. Political compass has become a generic term for all sorts of websites, mostly shallow quizzes and amusements. You might have heard of the authentic political compass already, even if you're not one of the scores of thousands who visit it each week from a great many countries. Our propositions, none of them are questions, are simply a demonstration of our core work. Essentially, the political compass is free of any agenda. It's simply about describing politics in more meaningful terms and pointing out the inadequacy or error of some sloppy but common political definitions. Take left and right. They're essentially for defining economics. A command Marxist economy on the far left, where the government makes all the economic decisions, and on the extreme right, a deregulated or neoliberal economy where economics are left to market forces. Yet left and right are incorrectly used to also define social positions. Take a look at the French political scene. The National Front's routinely described as extreme right, yet its economic policies are often to the left of even the French Socialist Party. But the political compass has a second dimension, the social one, that correctly shows that the economics of France's National Front are quite moderate, as is the case with many similar new so-called extreme right parties in other countries. Their extremism is in their nationalist social attitudes and policies. Conversely, President Macron's economics are far more right-wing, in the sense that he's a neoliberal champion of deregulation, but his social attitudes are far more liberal than Le Pen's. If you still insist on calling a party right-wing because it's authoritarian, logic follows that the more left-wing a party is, the more liberal or anti-authoritarian it is. Do you really believe that hardline left-wingers like the North Korean leadership, Pol Pot and Stalin are shining examples of social liberalism and the free flow of ideas? Give us a break. Actually, Stalin's an interesting example. While his economics were different to Hitler's, when it comes to authoritarian rule, the social dimension, those two old tyrants had a great deal in common. Speaking of tyrants, take a different example. In 1973 in Chile, a socially liberal, democratically elected socialist president, Salvador Allende, was toppled in a coup by a fascist free marketeer, Augusto Pinochet. A lot of thinking became muddled when Europe's old communist Eastern Bloc countries fell, and they got both democracy and a free market at the same time. This led to the notion that the two are inextricably linked. They're not, as we've just seen in the Chilean example. Well, that's a very brief account of our work. The political compass is much more than the absolutely anonymous test that it's best known for. It places you on its chart and offers you a free personalized certificate. Far from being one of those vacuous personality tests, though, it's a serious demonstration of our core work. The site has many other fascinating features that you'll enjoy exploring, even a compass positioning classical composers. Our tests now are available in an expanding number of languages, and we prepare specific charts for elections in a number of countries. The political compass is a universal tool. It shows you the whole political landscape, not just the one within the confines of your own country's politics. You'll find our work in a growing number of political science textbooks from publishers like Oxford University Press and McGraw-Hill. We've been well reviewed in a huge number of newspapers and on radio and TV, and gratifyingly by a great many educators. Don't let anyone, least of all politicians, tell you that left and right no longer have meaning. To the contrary, they are the only means of describing actual economic positions, but only economic positions. In our globalized age, when economic power has transcended political power, you can trust the political compass to show you what's really going on.